Hey guys, I'm gonna do a simple mom application, which means that it's very fast, and so basically I am going to make it as easy as possible, since when I started in the makeup industry, I did not understand a lot of stuff. I was actually in Philadelphia, and my father believed that anything to do with makeup was horrible because of his religious affiliation. And in all truth, it's crazy that he thought of that, because this could feed any mom or any children if you do it right. And so if you don't know me, I'm Sadie. I absolutely love getting to know people. I am a people person, guilty as charged. And so I've already basically toned, treated, applied basically all my skincare, and including the primer. And so this is on mature skin. I know that I don't look like I'm 39. Thank you. I'm not trying to be conceited about it, but all of you guys say that. And in fact, I'm gonna be 40 in May, so my gosh, where'd the time go, right? And so yeah, I wanted to talk about my high school sweetheart, aka my husband, because we're very, very like not common anymore, especially in the time that we're living in, post-pandemic. Guys, this is the one that I'm gonna use. This is my mommy you know, to go to, which is an adjustable, I've spoken about it before, foundation slash concealer. You could also use it as concealer. I do like a full coverage, and it glides like butter, because I did use this primer by this maker. And so yeah, so going back to that, I met my husband when I was 15 years of age. In fact, I was extremely struck. He did some weight training, and his dad and brother also did some bodybuilding, and my dad had bodybuilt as well. And so it was just kind of like common sense to me. And so you're gonna go ahead and aim up. Everything has to go up because gravity dictates that it's gonna go down. So I like mixing it with that to counteract any redness. And basically we fell in love very quick. I was very young, and he had just experienced the separation of his parents, and it messed him up because his dad, he's never been there, period. He just basically abandoned the boys and the mom, and unfortunately he wasn't a part of their life. And my husband has always been upset about that, I mean, obviously. And so unfortunately it led him to a lot of insecurities, just like each one of us. I, however, did not have that experience. My dad, until the very last breath, was the best dad imaginable, and he didn't have a dad. So he taught a lot of men how to be dads, how to actually be fathers. Like, you just don't make a kid and leave it there. You know, it's forever. And so unfortunately my father-in-law was never there. He was a cop, very successful, quote unquote, owns 2 law firms, and unfortunately never helped them at all. In fact, I don't even know how the boys are not in jail, because he just never did own up to anything. Just kept on basically jumping from woman to woman and teaching the boys that is what it is to be a man, from what I understand. I don't really know him. So yeah, long story short, obviously he had a lot of insecurities. So this is gonna absorb some of it, that way it's not so crazy. And so long story short, at that moment he didn't know what kind of example to follow, in the sense that he wanted to be there for me and all of that, but he didn't know how to do that because his father, once again, was never there, or never really taught them how to be men. He taught them how to be womanizing men and be players and have threesomes, and he would kick them out for stuff like that. So in my book, that is horrendous, because my dad was a pastor, my dad was a man of the cloth basically, and he was an amazing father, an amazing man. And again, he taught millions of people through his example, and of course through preaching how to be able to take care of your family no matter what. So when I met him, he had a job, and he when I basically told him that I wasn't gonna move in with him because his dad had taught them to just be womanizing players once again. And I'm not trying to like bash the dad, I just think he had other priorities, and he in fact unfortunately did not teach the guys how to be men, to the point that when there's an unwanted pregnancy by the side piece, he says, don't tell your wife, unfortunately, to the other son. And so long story short, we were very much in love, very young, and his dad and brother were telling them to just play everybody out and just get yours and run trains on girls and a whole bunch of ugly stuff. And of course, my husband did not do that. He just put his head down, went to work, got made fun of, got called, derogatory homosexual names, which is horrible. Because he wouldn't play girls, he wouldn't do things that he shouldn't be doing, period. And my dad went through that as well, so I was used to that, meaning that because my father did not cheat on my mom and he wasn't a womanizing a-hole, he got also called derogatory homosexual names. And so right here, I'm applying a full coverage, a foundation in the color Soleil, and if you notice, it looks like skin. This is no filters, you guys. This is just me. My skin at 39 with a lot of skincare, of course, which I talk about. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the translucent powder in this type of brush. And if you notice, I'm using the tapping motion. I'm going to tell you why. Because when this is the case, it goes, in my opinion, it goes into the lines, so it settles a lot easier, in my opinion. If you're also a makeup artist and you are, maybe thinking that, what is this girl talking about? That's just what I've seen in the past 20 years. So, okay, going back to that whole ordeal. Next, I'm going to go ahead and contour Weiss. With I believe it's color like sun something. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. Golden Light. And it is warm, but it does look like a bronzer. I like it, I enjoy it. And so long story short, he wasn't ready to commit, meaning that he wasn't willing to basically pledge his love to me at 18, which is when I met him. And in fact, we got caught basically. I snuck out one night. My parents were extremely strict because of their, again, their religious beliefs. Couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. When we were in the car with my mom, she had the light on. In fact, she got pulled over a couple of times. And their fear was that he was going to get me pregnant and have, and just basically run out on me. And I'm not going to lie, his dad and brother, unfortunately, had people knew them as trouble, and unfortunately it didn't benefit my husband. So of course my dad is like terrified. He's like trying to get me away from this area. I'm gonna go ahead and contour with the sponge. It is completely dry, and it's just a medium sponge. And so long story short, he asked me to go with him, basically run away. That's how they did it in Puerto Rico. He is Puerto Rican from descent, although they have Viking blood, which is crazy. But no, just 100% Puerto Rican on both sides, with ancestors that are very strong apparently. And so they had a bad reputation, I'm not gonna lie, at the school. Anybody that knew them basically said trouble. And I wanted to get married and have babies and go to college and just basically live the life that I live today. that he's been able to give us. So here we are, super young, super just, I don't even know how to explain the type of emotion that I felt for him. I absolutely adored him. I still do. In fact, I had to basically bury him for many years because mom and dad did not approve. And I'm one of those kids, you know, I'm the kid that listens. I'm the kid that does whatever is told, obedient. And that night, we wanted just to go and spend some time together. I'm not gonna lie, we did do it. And that wasn't the plan, but we were very happy. So my parents threatened with calling statutory rape. So right here, I'm using this technique to make my nose look like the Kylie Jenner look, which is, you know, very warm and all across the face. And so, long story short, here I am, super excited about potentially ending up with this guy, you know, getting married. He asked me to go with him. His mom was the head, well, basically a supervisor in child protective services, and she knew that my dad and my mom could get him in trouble. But what I didn't know is that I already had a consensual age, and so to try to protect him out of not knowing, his parents asked him to let me go because obviously it was just too much drama, and that he could have any relationship with anybody else. And now that I'm a mother, I totally agree. He didn't have to put up with crazy immigrant parents that and so a lot went on. I was sent to boarding school. Oh my gosh, because my mom and dad were just terrified of me getting pregnant. And that was a rite of passage. Going to boarding school was not a bad thing for us. It was actually my mom went to it. My dad did not, because he grew up without a dad. His dad ran out on him. And they wanted to give me a better future. So I did not want to be there. I got in trouble, got in a fight, ended up fighting a girl that was 5'10". I'm 4'11". And I won, which is crazy. The only fight I've been in. And so my parents just basically tried whatever it took for me to have a fairy tale type of life, in the sense that I'd gone through so much crap, you guys, with my body, with my condition. If you don't know me, I have a very strange condition called spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia. I'm a nurse by profession, but because of this business, I've been able to stay home. Thank God, praise the Lord. And so yeah, so going back to our talk, here I am a young girl. I'm totally in love. We kept on talking through I would call him Collect, and eventually his parents just told him, hey, get yourself, you know, this is a time for you to go and play, like get yourself somebody that you could actually take out and go. And we never forgot about each other. We just totally, I mean, I don't even know how to explain how fuzzy I felt when I saw him again after 20 years. I felt the same way. And I had dated, of course. We had a 20-year hiatus, and didn't speak for 13. And I even had gotten married, gotten divorced, and then my dad brought him up. So long story short, here we are, young Sadie, which is me, little girl, like doesn't know how to do anything in life, horrible self-esteem. But I had my dad to basically guide me and make me feel good about myself and allow me to experience the world. So at a very young age, I wasn't even 30, I got to go to Europe and all these amazing trips. And I'm not bragging on all these things, I'm just telling you how thankful I am that I have the parents that I have, and I hope you know that. And so after that, we have the same birthday. My parents have the same birthday as well, except they are a couple of years apart, and so are we. So we're 3 years apart, they were 2 years apart. And I knew, you guys, I knew for a fact that this man would have been the man of my life. And of course, you know, I understand that my parents wanted security. I understand that they wanted me to experience life, and they were right about that. But the way that I felt with him at that age was completely, utterly in love. And I never found that. And I married my first husband wholeheartedly. In fact, I did not, it wasn't because of me that marriage ended. God had other plans, and I had a long way back home Christ-wise because of some stuff that you can see in my other videos that happened. And thankfully, I listened to my parents, and once they realized how bad that marriage had been, they felt guilty, they felt horrible. So long story short, going back, my husband and I saw each other on and off. We did hook up here and there, but he wanted a wife, and when I was 19 he proposed, and I wanted to go to nursing school so bad, and I wanted to be a nurse to have the American dream, which I did later on. And he said, I could pay for it, I have a good job. And it turned out he was driving trucks and making like $20,000 a year, and his mom was living with him. And so I thought it was the other way around. And so long story short, at the time, we're just like, you know, I'm like, I still have life to experience. I haven't gone to college yet. Like, I have so much going on. So this is going to be this pen. And we were extremely, very compatible with each other. Like, I've always felt fuzzy in his arms. It didn't help that he was like a wall of muscle. And so nowadays my mom says, I'm sorry, sweetheart, it's just that he was just such a beautiful boy that we didn't think that he would want to have something serious. And I'm sitting there like, you like basically had me go and get married to somebody that was abusive. Like, are you kidding me? And so my mom adores this guy. In fact, he rescued me from a lot of bad decisions, because the moment that we got back together, he wanted a family, he wanted the whole fairy tale. And anyway, so God always had a purpose. God always knew that something amazing would happen, and I know that now. It was starting to rain, which means that my bones are gonna hurt. So I don't produce collagen, so I've reviewed a couple of collagen stuff, which really helped my condition, and thank God, because it is quite painful having had 31 surgeries. My eyebrows look crazy, but I don't care. I'm just gonna go pick up my little girl. And yeah, so long story short, here I am. I come back to New Jersey, which is my hometown, and he hasn't stopped working because he needed to, and he promised me a life that I remember when I saw him putting a coat on his nephew Brian. Love that kid. That kid is my world. And he said, and I quote, I thought to myself, a simple life, that I want. And in fact, that's exactly what we have. Very thankful. I don't have to worry about a lot of things, because I know that he will. And I would have saved all the heartache and pain had I just stuck up to my guns. And so remember that God doesn't place things in your heart just because. He places a lot of things in your heart because he knows that he's trying to protect you. And we both ended up finding God together through that marriage. I became an agnostic. I was trying to talk to aliens, anything, because I had lost a daughter at 12 days. So basically absolutely anything that would connect me to her. And I thought, okay, well, aliens might be able to do that. And so if you're watching, Mama, Don't do that. That stuff is demonic. You're not talking to your dead baby. You're talking to external negative forces. So anyhow, so that is my makeup for the day. I know my eyebrows look crazy. I will fix them when I get to her school. But thank you for watching. God bless you, and I really do pray that all your dreams come true, because God doesn't put a dream in somebody's heart unless they themselves seek for him. And whatever pictures you get into your mind about having a better life is the way of God speaking to you.